where remittances are now being innovated to be more faster. For instance, you have the Discover card, where you can now do your transactions easily, international transactions. This was never really there before. We only know of the Verve card, where we can use domestically. But that has opened up opportunities even across countries for us to be able to do transaction in the comfort of your house. So that is only made possible with digital. So those cards had actually brought opportunity for us to be able to serve even people that are not longer in Nigeria. So I want to quickly speak to that before you come to.
Okay, thank you very much. And then you spoke up, you want to say something also?
Yes, I just want to add like 2 minutes, no, 30 seconds addition to what you said.
30 seconds will work.
Yeah, so basically, you are right. The Jackpot syndrome, as she said, it's a good and a not so good thing. But the thing that I love about Nigeria is I have so much faith in us as a country. And I feel that what we need to do is to work on a pipeline of talent. The world will continue to need IT people. The guys that left, most of them were self-trained. There's nothing stopping us from harvesting these guys from these days, 400 level, 300 level students. Companies should just, like we have that in FSDH, we have a graduate analyst training program, right? So it doesn't, and where I look at it is, it's cheaper for me to hire a fresh graduate and bring him up to say within 6 months. My stay with me for 18 months, right? After 18 months, in my jackpot. You understand? But within 18 months, I have another person that's in the pipeline. And as time goes on, fine, we'll be feeding the diaspora and all that. But we're also equipping and creating a talent pool for ourselves in Nigeria to fill the gap. So it's a serious problem, right? But I think that there are solutions to it.
Yes, they are. And as they are going, it's not, I don't think it's too good for us, even though we're getting more people. Yeah. I think it's important to ensure the sustainable factor and allowing them to remain, so that even if they want to go, they will have served and given of themselves. Not that you just come and stay 7 months and like, bye sir, I'm gone. I can't work here anymore, just because, you know. You want to say something also?
Yes, some very quickly. I think where we are in Africa today, and all the opportunities.
Objection, my lord. I get what you're saying, and I really do understand that. But the truth of the matter is that those who are living have gotten a better offer, a better way of living, a better environment that helps their work to be easier. Some of them, people don't have to even go to work. They can stay from wherever they are, technology, and then do their work. So people like to work in environments that are conducive and yet enhances productivity. So I agree with you, sir, but I had to object there. All right, I think the crux of what you said is that I can just say out is that restriction stalls innovation.
Yes.
I think that's a summary of all you've said.
Yes, but we can work in we can creatively use those controls. I don't like calling them restrictions.
That's okay.
Yeah.
To my next panelist, Mrs. Oluwatosin Ilesomi, the MD CEO of NobleServe Finance Company Limited. I love that you contributed. You know, whenever they are women, they always have to like to add spice to the bill. So I love your angle. Coming to you, what are the real-world examples of successful digital transformation initiatives in your sector? And what lessons can other companies learn from these experiences?
Okay, so NobleServe Finance Company Limited is actually a lending company, and it's also a financial company regulated by CBN. Because we are not banks, I needed to give us that background so that you'll be wondering that, okay, what sector am I talking about now? I'm talking about finance sector. So looking at finance sector, some examples of digital solutions that have been innovative includes, like, we all know InterSwitch. They are one of the leading payment platform in Nigeria. And some of their digital solutions includes the Verve card that I mentioned earlier, the Quick Teller. With the Quick Teller, you can always do your transactions and you get immediate value. So it's like you're having a bank on the go. There's really no restrictions. There's no bound. Then you also have companies like Flutterwaves. We know Flutterwaves helps in settlement and ensures that you have a good payment gateway. You don't have any delays. So those are some of the solutions that digital has brought to us in finance companies. Aside saying that, we also have the app. We have the mobile apps. Like you have the Noble Pay. If you see some of my colleagues, they are wearing their t-shirts, you have Noble Pay there. That's an app. That's a finance instrument that digital has helped us to develop. And what does that do? Everything about the company is on that app. So it has helped you to be able to carry your business into a model that can be easily accessible. So with that, you can make sure that there's no wall, there's no face, there's no boundary. You can do your businesses, you can have access to loans, you can do investments, and many more like it. So basically, we have to embrace digital solutions in Nigeria. It's very, very important. And the reason why I said this is because something happened recently that is beyond anybody's imagination. We didn't even expect that it's going to happen, and that is pandemic. When the pandemic started, nobody knew that people will not be able to go out and do their business. But for those that are already in there, that has digital platforms to do their business, you'll be surprised that year, the bank actually even made much more money than any other year, including us. That year was a very, very profitable year for us. It was convenient. There was less cost. There were no operational costs. Everything was net. So at the end of the day, we had more income during that period. And we were only able to achieve that because we already have a digital space. Even as small as, just having a website that people can... Space is not something that you can joke with if you really, really look at the future of a business and sustainability. Another thing I would also want to mention in this regard is partnership. It's their needs digitally. So they are the one that would help you to customize those features. They understand how clients behave so that you can actually retain your clients, you can have more loyalty, and what does that translate to? That is profits for your company, more income, and that is the whole essence of us digitizing and trying to get more reach. My colleague here mentioned about financial inclusion. That is also a very, very good reason why you have to look at it in the financial business. Bringing the unbanked to be banked. So I wouldn't want to talk about that anymore since that has been mentioned. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I think, please, if you want to put your hands together, you can. I think we can't overemphasize the importance of technology because it looks like it's in everything that we do. And it's just there to provide solutions. So there are times where you have some glitches, which happens, once in a while. But I think the benefits of technology outweighs the disadvantages that we may observe inside. So thank you so much for what you have said.
Thank you.
Mr. Detayo Bamiduro, co-founder of Metro Africa Express. When I was reading your profile, I'm like, this man is so deep into this man is very vast. When I was looking at the questions I was going to ask, I'm like, this question looks too simple. This one looks too simple for this man. I should give him something tough. All right, so what are the essential components of successful digital transformation strategies, and how should companies prioritize them?
All right, sure. Good morning, everyone, once again. Very excited to be here. I think a lot has been said already, but I'll add some things. I think one of the first things is leadership, right? And the leader doesn't have to be a techie in that sense, right?
Yes.
But if there's no buy-in at the very top, if there's no strategic intent that's really backing digital transformation, because digital transformation is not cheap, it is expensive. It's a lot of money that you spend. And that's why you need leadership, right? Administration in the rest of the organization. But let me back up a little bit and talk about technology itself. There's this idea around technology is some of the new fancy things that are being built, like apps and all of that. But technology is something that has existed for thousands of years, right? If I ask you in this room now that, would you ever think about going to the office on a horse? Is that something that will come to mind to you? Okay, well,
so
because of the cost of fuel now. Fair enough. But May 2023, you would never think of that, right? But think about it that, 100 years ago, there are people who were skeptical and said, no, this automobile technology isn't going to work. It doesn't make any sense. I'm going to continue riding my horses. You look back at that, 100 years in the past, and you're like, those people were foolish. They were stupid. How would you continue to ride a horse to walk when you could have just bought a Ford T1, right? That is much more efficient, doesn't need you to feed it grass and clean its poop and all of that on a daily basis. That's exactly how you are today if you refuse to embrace digital transformation in your organization, is you are getting stuck into the past, right? So let me start with that. So leadership and strategic intent is extremely important. The other point is, if you think about civilizations in the past, right? You know, when the British overtook the Dutch, right? It was technology transformation and capabilities that the British built that allowed them to overtake the Dutch as a world power, right? Fast forward to the 20th century, the same thing when the Americans started overtaking Europe and the rest of the world. It was also driven by what? By technology, by, you know, innovation in aviation, right? In weapons systems. And by the way, unfortunately, war has been a key driver of technology innovation in the world today. Many of the companies you see around the world today that are leading, save a few of them like Microsoft, Apple, but a lot of the other ones that build real hardcore technology that has transformed our lives were inspired during the world wars, right? But bottom line is, countries have taken over. Now we have a China that's about to catch up with the US and become the dominant economy in the world as well. And the question is, what is driving that? It's also, you know, them embracing. We also look at this at the company level as well, within countries. The top 10 companies in Nigeria, you know, 20 years ago are not the top 10 companies in Nigeria today. And the top 10 in Nigeria today will not be the top 10 in 10, 15, 20 years from now. And the key thing is, what is going to distinguish, you know, those companies? Who will be the leaders? The leaders